Hello and welcome to Metal Dice, a podcast where we talk about all things music.
Well, the things we care about.
That's right, which is mainly metal music and live music. I'm one of your hosts, Brian, joined with your other host,
Karen.
And Karen, what is this episode about?
Linefest, Iowa, 2021.
Or Knotfest, Iowa, as its original name was.
Yeah, but it was Linefest.
Yeah, that's what we call it. I know there's a few nicknames for it online that go by that as well. So we were there. We were going to talk about our experience. We did record this episode a long time ago, maybe a year plus ago. We started editing it, and it wasn't all that good. So we decided
not that this is going to be good, but
No.
that was really not good.
But we're just going to redo that here a little bit. And this was sort of spurred on because Slipknot announced another Knotfest Iowa for the 25th anniversary show that they're going to be doing, plus a tour that goes along with it. But that would have been really cool to go to, and we're not going to make it for several reasons, but one of them is our experience with this particular show. I haven't checked to see if it's sold out. I assume tickets went on sale last Friday.
Yeah,
we're recording this on Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, and I think they went on sale last Friday, so I assume that sold out. I know the original one sold out super fucking quick, too.
Yeah. But also, in 2021, there was, no shows really happening, so any show you could particularly go to was let's jump on it and get tickets.
Exactly. Shows had just started to come back.
Yeah.
We'll look that up afterwards. But for this one, this was Linefest, or Knotfest Iowa 2021, on September 25th, 2022. Is that right? 2022?
2021.
That's what I thought.
Last time we recorded that, we had that date wrong.
Did we do that?
Yeah.
I didn't fix it then. I'll fix it now. Ticket prices for this were $79.50 plus $14.80 in fees.
Which is actually a really, really good price for
what you got.
For the bands that were there. I mean, if it turned out to be a good festival, it would have been fucking cheap as shit to go see all that.
A one-day festival for all the bands that were going to be there. And I guess let's get into the bands who were going to be there. Originally, Faith No More was going to be there, but they backed out. And they were also supposed to be at Riot Fest, and they backed out for whatever reason. I think mental health reasons or whatnot. I think that was sort of the... I can't remember at the time, honestly.
I can't remember. There's a lot of, things happening where bands were booked on things and then they were not able to make it for different reasons, so...
Yeah, it was that touch-and-go era of, post-COVID, right, where things were still sort of uncertain and precautions were being taken, and whatever reason it was, Faith No More was originally announced, and then they weren't going to be there.
Yeah.
But why don't you tell us what we had for a lineup that we actually got to see?
That we saw or that was actually there?
That were there.
Okay. Widow 7, Vended, Gate Creeper, Turnstile, Knocked Loose, Fever 333, Tech 9, Trivium, Gojira, Lamb of God, Suicide Boys, Megadeth, and Slipknot.
And that's obviously starting at the bottom of the bill and working our way up. When this was announced, too, it was if you were a Slipknot fan club member. I can't remember what their
Knotfest.
Oh, Knotfest, yeah. If you were a Knotfest fan club member, you got early access code to the show. And that's when we first signed up for it. I think it was $50 to sign up for. You got this bundle. It's over here on our shelf mostly. Got pins, some stickers, a few patches, I think. A puzzle, I think, as well, a VIP puzzle.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think we do have a puzzle.
Just taking a quick look over there. I think that barcode.
Yep.
I think that's a VIP. I can't read it from here. And then a print from Sean, one of his prints. For $50 plus, you get access to all of the Knotfest additionals, like the pre-sale codes. They have a bunch of podcasts and shit and videos and whatnot. I think you can get. We don't really engage in that much of the content on there as much. Honestly, I use it now primarily for those pre-sale codes.
Yeah.
But not a bad deal, really. $50 for that fan club, and we did a whole thing on fan clubs and talked about that. But yeah, so like I said, not a bad deal for the fan club, and we got the pre-sale code to the show. Which we used, and we haven't given up the fan club since then. So it's been fun. I've enjoyed it. But this particular show, going into Knotfest though, first off, we have seen Slipknot a number of times in the past. They were my second live show. You saw them once in Des Moines at the Wells Fargo Arena.
Vets Auditorium was the.
They weren't at Wells Fargo then?
I don't know.
I can't remember. I feel like they may have been at Wells Fargo, but both
I thought
venues are still open.
Yeah. Well, yeah, one's a conference center now, but
okay.
I thought Vets was where we saw Slipknot, and then Metallica's, when we went to go see Metallica was at Wells Fargo. But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. We've seen them a couple times now. Before that, Open Air 2016, they were one of the headliners there. That was our first sort of big show back into seeing concerts and metal music as well. Even though I don't think it really was. I think there was one before that. The Lumineers, I think we saw.
Yeah, we saw a show with Lumineers, but yeah, that was definitely our jump back into metal music.
And then Denver as well. We went there for the Knotfest Road Show, and then we've seen Slipknot a few times since then as well. But I know we've talked about this a little bit. The Knotfest sort of brand is something you've not necessarily taken issue with, but you're not a big fan of that branding.
Yeah, it's more like when we went to see the Knotfest Roadshow in Denver. They called it Knotfest, but really it's just like a long concert, or that was a long concert. I think there was 5 bands, if I can remember. I don't know. Like it started at like 4:30 in the afternoon, and then went till 11 or whatever the normal time is. But I'm like, this isn't really a festival, so why are you calling it Knotfest? I don't know. That was just something that I'm like, it's just kind of weird to me.
Yeah, and they've always. So, I mean, it started out as a festival. And I think the first one was in, like, California, which was really weird to me. I think it was, like, in the mid-2000s, like 2010 or something. Okay, yes, so 2012. Multi-day festival, and they've done it throughout the years as sort of something similar to that. First one, does it say California? Oh, shit, I was wrong. It was actually Council Bluffs, Iowa.
So it was in Council Bluffs, Somerset, Wisconsin, San Bernardino. That one. And then they started doing like the tour,
going all over, Japan, Mexico.
Yeah. Which you see now, like you see Knotfest Mexico all the time and stuff.
Australia was this year, just a little bit ago.
Yeah.
And this is just sort of like a little history of it, because I know after that initial one, then they started doing like everything under that Knotfest brand.
Like all their shows were Knotfest.
Like Knotfest Road Show. So it was like, we're going to do the Knotfest, but take it on the road as a much smaller, condensed experience, which is what we did with Denver. But this was our first proper Knotfest experience. We did say we'd seen him a number of times before this show. Most frequently before this show, exactly like 1 week before at Riot Fest here in Chicago.
So this was on Saturday that week, and on Sunday, the Sunday before, so the same week if you want to go by calendar week, they headlined Riot Fest that day because 9 Inch Nails dropped out.
And 9 Inch Nails was there to play for Faith No More, which dropped out.
Yes.
So once again, back in that era of everybody was getting booked and then shit was happening and they were dropping out.
Yeah.
And you had to find people to replace them. And Slipknot came and put on an amazing show. That was like that Machine Gun Kelly bullshit comment show.
Yeah, because Machine Gun Kelly was on one of the stages at the exact same time that Slipknot was. And there was like all that stuff going on with social media with them and stuff.
Yeah, and I wasn't paying much attention to that. I didn't really give a shit. I was wondering if Corey would come out on stage and say something, but no, at this particular show he didn't. But whatever.
I think it was more on the other side of things than Corey making a big deal out of it. But
I think so, for sure.
Yeah.
But anyways, getting into this particular show.
Yeah, I was going to say that seems so long ago now. I doubt if it's even relevant.
Oh, yeah, I bet not.
That up.
I'm going through our memory of this show and leading up to it. And like, I was super fucking excited for this show. The lineup of that was so amazing. Like Lamb of God, holy shit, Trivium, Gojira.
And going back to Iowa to see it was really cool.
Fuck yes. It was the 20th anniversary of the Iowa album too. So it's like, are you going to do something special for the Iowa album? Like played in its full? Like that would be fucking sick. That'd be so cool. I think this was our first Megadeth show too.
Yeah, it was the first time seeing Megadeth, yeah.
So I was super excited to finally see Megadeth.
No, that's wrong. Megadeth played at Open Air.
Holy shit, you're right.
Yeah,
they did,
so
right.
Let's take that back. But
okay.
I think this was, we saw them at Open Air. Yep.
Fever 333, like, I'm so excited to see this. I've never heard of Widow 7. I always call it Window. It's Widow 7.
Yeah.
Vended. I hadn't heard of them at that time. Gatecreeper, Turnstile, Knocked Loose. Didn't know any of those fucking bands. Super fucking excited. Suicide Boys, not so much. But I was excited to experience it and see it. Tech 9, I knew the music. I enjoy it. I listen to it from time to time. I was super excited to see that as well. So, like, the lineup as a whole, like, going up to this, like, fuck yes, I'm pumped. And as you said, going back to Iowa to see this in Iowa on the 20th anniversary of Iowa. Like, this is, holy shit, this is just shaping up to be a perfect fucking concert, festival, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
It's going to be so fucking awesome. But it didn't start out so well. you could either drive out here. So this was at the Indianola Balloon Grounds. So in Indianola, there's this giant fucking field where hot air balloons, they use it every year. It's like the International Balloon Grounds or some shit. They have some big competition or something.
I can't remember what that all is, but yeah, like it's a big thing in Iowa to go to Indianola and see the balloons. So
Yeah, and so that's where this was at. It's in the middle of nowhere, which cool, whatever, it is what it is. It's Iowa. That's what you can expect. I think there were 30,000+ people at this show.
30,000. Yeah, 30,000 people.
So a very good number. So you could either drive out there and park in like the grassy area they have, which we've been to shows. We do that. It's like the fair, right? The Iowa State Fair. That's what you do. You park in like hill grass and everything like that. Southridge Mall, I think it was. They were doing shuttles.
I think so. Yeah.
Back and forth all day. And then those are the two main ways to get out there. And so we drove out there. There were very few people directing people on where to park or whatnot. So we were just following the car in front of us. And
well, that's what we were told to do.
There was somebody that just followed the car, right?
Yeah, so we just followed them, and we literally followed them the whole way.
And we parked right next to them. There was nobody there directing once you got down to like where to go park. It was sort of self-parking. And being, going to the state fair and doing those sort of parking where they have like the Boy Scouts tell you where to park on this field, you know how it works. You just get in the best line you can and park next to the car and then the next person and so on and so forth. So we did that. We were right by the front gate.
Yeah.
And then we see a sign that says VIP parking.
Oh, I didn't see that until we left, though.
Oh, you didn't? I thought we saw it when we were walking away.
I'm pretty sure it was after we left. I don't remember now, but I know that, like, 'cause I think if I would have saw it before, I probably would have been like, oh, we can't park here. Let's move somewhere else. So I think it was after when we were getting ready to leave.
See, I thought it was before because I remember talking to you being like, well, there's nobody here to tell you where to go. And by this point, you're looking around their cars and like, there's no VIP sticker or anything. Yeah. So whatever.
Possibly. I don't know. It's fine. Like we ended up parking in VIP parking.
In the wrong parking lot, but whatever.
Yeah.
The line was so fucking long already. Snuck around the venue, down this back way, across the street, then back down this other way.
So if I remember right, gates opened at 12.
I think so. An hour before the first set. And the first set was Widow 7 at 12.
So the gates opened at 11?
I think they did. I think the gates opened at 11.
And we got there at 10.
We got there at 10,
because we got there an hour before gates open. So
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, if we're right on that. You're that or we got there at 11 and gates opened at 12 right when the first band went on. But that sounds weird.
I don't think so. I think it was we were moving in because I remember the line was moving. We were pretty close.
Before the band started, yeah. So I think it was 11. We got there at 10. Gates open at 11. But I think you were saying this, but we were across the street. It's a gravel road, but we were across the road, like halfway down to the other road. So, we were a long ways in the line.
And you're standing in line, people are driving by you, whatever, that's fine. People drove slowly. There were people, like entrances into the parking that people would move out of the way for and whatnot. Like, it's a normal crowd, a normal line. People know what the fuck they're doing. They know to get out of the way of the cars.
Yeah, that was no big deal.
No, I'm just explaining it. Yeah. That it was way out here by the parking lots and everything.
Yeah.
And line starts moving. We slowly start getting through. And then we're down by the gated area, at least.
Yeah. Almost to where it, because like you're in a single line kind of, and then it broke off into like 6 or 8 stalls, like a cattle stall, like so that you could go through security and get your ticket scanned and everything like that. So we were almost there when Widow 7 went on, if I remember right.
We were there somewhere in there we were there.
So over an hour to move, not very far.
Which I guess that's fine. Like 30,000 people, everybody's showing up as early as they can because they want to fucking be there, which is awesome to see.
Yeah.
It did go very slowly to get in. Once we got through security, that was sort of apparent why. They were going through fucking everything. You can't bring this in. You can't bring this in. Throw this away. One of the things you could not bring in were water bottles of full or refillable. Like you just couldn't bring them in. And I don't think the site is up, but when we first recorded this, the website was still up and we were going to take screenshots and I never did. We were waiting to edit. I don't think the website's up anymore, but they even say on the website, if I remember correctly, that you can't bring water bottles in.
Yeah. I can't. There was like a whole list of things that like prohibited items or whatever.
Right.
Like that,
so whatever, we get through security, and by that time, I think Vended had also gone on and already been done.
Yep. By the time we got in, because we got in during Gate Creeper, so it was after 1:20.
Right.
We do have the set times from Reddit or something, but it was So it took us 2.5 hours in line,
They're about right.
probably to get in.
And so by this time, I'm already pissed off. Like,
Yeah.
I'm super fucking pissed that
Yeah.
we missed Widow 7, Vended, and now half a Gate Creeper. And we're just sitting back there like, fuck it, let's just hang here for a little bit and listen to this. And then as they do like the changeover, we'll go wander around a little bit. Or maybe it was during Gatekeeper, like, we already missed their set, let's just go
No, I think we
wander.
finished off their set. I remember we did walk around a little bit, but I remember standing there and finishing their set. So.
And then once we were in, talking about the grounds a little bit, when you walk straight in from this little entrance, well, I still have a picture of the layout somewhere. I'll throw that up. So I'm just talking about this from memory right now. But when you walk straight in, there's sort of this big amusement ride, the circle amusement ride, and then a bunch of vendors selling their stuff right there. There's even one guy later in the night I saw him had a sign that said, if you buy something from me, I will not only hold on to this till the end, I will hold on to all your merch as well, which was really kind of a good
because I
selling
mean
point.
that is shitty. Like when you go somewhere and like buy something that's like, oh shit, now I have to carry it around all day. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of annoying.
We were at a show last night, actually, Amon Amarth in
Yeah.
Wisconsin, and Madison. And they had, instead of a coat check, it was a merch check, which was really kind of fun.
Yeah, because it was warm enough. You don't need coats, but
Yeah.
we should have done that because we bought 3 shirts last night. We haven't bought shirts for a long time, and I was just like, this is really annoying.
It's smart. Turn your coat check room into a merch check room.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
Yeah.
Any case, that was sort of right in front of you. To your left was the first aid, and I believe the beer tasting.
Oh,
event.
possibly. Yeah, I don't remember.
Because that was an add-on package you could buy of sort of like a craft beer tasting event.
Yeah.
You can't go in there and buy the beers later because Open Air did like a craft beer tent where you could buy the more high-end, expensive craft beers, or you can go and get like your Bud Lights at all the other stands.
Yeah.
This was sort of a ticketed event. You had to buy it ahead of time. If it sold out, you couldn't go. So that's to your left. To your right is sort of this row of food trucks.
Yeah,
They're
food
selling the
vendors.
food.
Yeah, food vendors.
Down past that, there's this little hill you go down, past that little circle thing, the amusement ride. Down past that, there is a merch tent that you could go to, a water tent, and then a beer tent to the right of that, up towards that second stage. And if you stay where we were standing originally when you first walk in, to your right are the 2 stages. And they're just side-by-side stages with a sound stage in the center with a barrier going all the way down in between the 2 stages. So it was separated that if you wanted to go between one or the other, you had to go up around the soundstage. Whatever, that's cool. People were doing that. We did it a few times.
Yeah, we did. We moved from stage to stage.
Yep. The one closest to the entrance, that's stage 1. The one furthest, stage 2. And then your VIP section area was over there as well, with their own bar over there. And then there was another a tent around that area for booze and drinks and whatnot. Did I say down by the merch there was also a designated water and soda stand? Okay, cool.
Yeah. There was 2 of those, I think, if I remember right. One kind of at the top of the hill by the amusement, kind of by like the food stands and the amusement
That was
area.
that big one, yeah.
And then there was one down the hill, which is the one that we ended up standing in line for 4 fucking hours.
By merch. Along the perimeter of this was just a massive wall. Not even massive. It's a normal size wall of porta potties. It was just a massive amount of porta potties.
They had plenty of porta potties, but
and they were kept cleaning them. Like the trucks would come in and clean them. The porta potty situation was fucking insanely good.
I do have to say, I fucking hate. We normally, if we go to a festival, we'll buy a VIP because I fucking hate using porta potties. But this was one experience where I was like, this is not that bad. Like,
I don't think I went into a single one that was bad.
No.
They were all clean all the time.
Yeah, you always saw the little truck dude come by and like clean them, empty them, make sure there's tissue, like all that stuff. So
right. So whatever. That's sort of the layout of the event. We sat there. We watched Gate Creeper. We went down and got merch because I wanted a poster and they had a poster, so that was cool. Picked that up.
Yeah.
Got it framed. It's still hanging up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool.
Don't know what else we got for merch. I don't know about anything else.
Yeah, because I don't remember getting like we didn't get a shirt because we just got a shirt at Riot Fest. And they didn't have the Knotfest Iowa shirts. Those were you could only buy online, and we didn't get them.
I think so. Yeah,
I do want to get one though because it's really cool because it's like them coming out of the cornfield. I don't know. I really like the shirt. It's kind of like what's the that movie
Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams style with like them coming out of the cornfield and
Just their masks hanging there and whatnot.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. Yeah, the mask coming out of the cornfield.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Yeah, it's really cool.
But then I do remember watching Turnstile's set and Knocked Loose's set.
Yep, I do too.
For Knocked Loose was on the main stage. We went over to the second stage to watch Turnstile, and then we stayed there to watch Knocked Loose because they had the giant screens that you could watch them on as well, right in front of you.
Yeah, because even if you're at one of the other stages, like you could watch, kind of like turn to actually see the band or just watch the screens.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that was our first time seeing Knocked Loose. I remember not liking their set.
I didn't like it either. I didn't like them when we saw them.
Well, I thought
last
you
year there.
enjoyed it the first time we saw them there. Okay.
No.
I've always had this impression that you really liked their set.
No,
In any case.
No, like the first band that we walked into, Gate Creeper, I liked their set. And then after that, like Turnstile, I don't really remember because I think we were walking around and we went to the merch.
Yeah, I don't remember that either.
Stuff. Knocked Loose, I was not much of a fan of. I was just like, I don't like this.
But we stayed on the second stage because Fever 333 was next, who we had also just seen at Riot Fest. The week before.
And we had seen them before at
Open Air 2019.
2019, yeah.
I fucking love their live set. I like their music. I love their music a lot. I love their live set. I haven't had an opportunity to see their live set that often because they really don't tour that often. They do the festival scene and then they're in Europe a lot.
Yeah, I wonder what it's going to be like now that only the vocalist is left of the main or the
Yeah, I'm super excited
members.
to see that. But this was the original members.
It was, yeah.
When we saw them.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to stay on that stage because we actually had like the far stage right side rail that we were on. So we had good viewing spots. They put on an amazing show. I do remember thinking like this show was a little toned down compared to the Riot Fest show.
Yeah. I think that they tailored some of the banter to know that Iowa crowd is a little bit different than Chicago crowd. So
yeah, they're very politically motivated in their lyrics and what they're kind of striving for, which it shouldn't be an issue. What they're striving for is just like peace and love and happiness and like power to all the people type of shit, right? Yeah. Like it's a very positive band and they're just singing aggressively about this positive aspect. And I love their shit so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think it was sort of tailored for your audience, which I get. You kind of have to do depending on where you go. Yeah.
And we've never seen them anywhere besides Chicago and then this time in Iowa.
That's true. Yeah, it's always been Chicago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
So we wanted to stay there. We watched their set. Still, even though feeling like it was toned down a little bit, still an outstanding set. I loved that set so much. After that, we're like, all right, it's 4:00. Time to go get some food for the day, our one meal of the day type thing.
Yeah. Like normally we don't eat at concerts, but when you're doing a full day festival, we do try to get a snack in between just to kind of keep going. So.
And then we'll eat like pizza afterwards or some shit.
Yeah. Or yeah.
At this time, it was always we'd get a pizza.
It was pizza now.
Tradition.
Yeah. Now it's like, let's save some money and buy some groceries and put them in the hotel room.
So we left that and then we went over to the food stands to get the food stands, thinking we could stand in line to get food and we'll get like a bottle of water or something.
Yeah.
And then I'll go get a beer or something after that. Because I did stop at that big booth up by that VIP area a little bit, that big one that was selling beer. We got beer there when we first got in. Line wasn't that bad. Everybody's up watching music, enjoying music. It was fine. It was great. Like it was great. Got in, got out, got my beer. I was good to go.
Yeah, I guess we didn't really say that. Like when you got your first beer, that's when we learned that water and soda were sold at completely different stands than the beer stands.
Yep.
So it was like you couldn't just go to any stand and buy liquid or the liquid you want. It was completely separate. Same with food stands, which I think you were going to get to. Oh,
that's exactly right. Like when we stood in line to get food, we ended up splitting lines. There was like a fried chicken line or like a pizza line.
Well, all the fucking lines were just kind of all over the place. Nobody knew what line they were standing in. And I was like, eventually I was just like, whatever line we're in is what food we're getting. So
I think we split up even because I went to one line, you went to another line because they're like, whoever gets there first, just text the other one and we'll go there. We'll both eat pizza. We'll both eat chicken tenders.
Yeah.
And that's what we ended up doing.
Yeah.
Chicken tenders was faster than the pizza, so that's what we got.
Yeah.
But at the chicken tender stand, what you were alluding to is they didn't sell liquids there as well. It was just food. Which was like, what the fuck? If I had known that, I would have gone stand in line for food then, or water.
Yeah, like you could have went to the water line and I would have stayed in line for food, yeah.
Like
I think I said this maybe, but like it was just a fuck ton of people
Yep.
all standing there. Like nobody had any fucking clue what was going on. And not in a bad way, just like.
It's a festival. Like the lines sometimes get very long and they
Yeah.
get sort of like melding together. And it's like, what line are you in? I think it's the pizza line.
People were being very courteous about it. Like, do you know what line you're standing in? And eventually I was just like, I don't really know. I'm standing in this line because.
There's food at the end of it. Whatever that food is, I will eat that.
Yeah. Was that, did we stand there? Did it take the entire time of Tech 9 to get food, if I remember right?
It did, yes. I think it was we finally got our food right when he was getting off stage.
Yeah.
So 45 minutes of standing in line to get food.
Yeah.
Even longer because we got there before his set even started, right?
Yeah.
So we stood in line roughly an hour for food.
Yep.
Then we're like, well, we're going to eat this greasy, salty food. We're going to need water to drink.
Yeah. We didn't say this. The temperature that day was only like 74, 76. Like it wasn't.
In the sunlight.
In sun, yes. I mean, I'm saying it wasn't. September can be 90 or it could be 60s.
Yep.
Luckily, it was right in the middle at like 74, 76.
Right.
Maybe 78 or 80. Like
I don't even think it got up to the 70s. It was really chilly. Maybe in the sun during the day, it was in the mid 70s. At night, it got cold as shit.
Did. Yeah, like as soon as the sun went down. But during the day, my whole point is it wasn't like extremely hot.
Yeah, September in the Midwest is very variable.
Yeah.
It can be 90 to 100 plus, or it could be 50.
Because I think the weekend before when we were at Riot Fest, it did get up to like 85 or 90 degrees.
It was insanely hot on that Saturday.
Yeah.
Because I remember I went to go listen to a set, and it was in the blistering sun.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is fine. I enjoyed the music. I just can't do the sun. I'm going to go find some shade.
Yeah.
And we ended up splitting for that set, and then I went and sat in the shade too. And it's like, yeah, this is right. The shade is right. We need to stay here.
Yeah. But anyways, I was going to bring that up because after we got food, we immediately went and stood in line for water.
Right. I was going to get a beer after getting my water, but then I saw how long the water line was, and the beer line was just as long. And I thought about, well, I can go stand in that line and wait, but it's not moving, so what the fuck? I'm not going to do that. I just won't have another beer today. I am okay with that. If the beer line is long and I want to stand in it and miss music, that's fine. That's on me. That's my choice to make. I did not want to make that choice at this particular show, so I was like, I'm not going to do that. I will stand in line. I'll get my water. I'll drink beer when I get back to the hotel, but I had my one beer today. I'm done. I'm completely fine with that because I'm going to see amazing music. Because we still have Trivium up next, Gojira, Lamb of God, Megadeth, Slipknot, and my first experience with Suicide Boys. So like I was super excited for that. I'll just stand here and get some water. But holy fuck, did that water line suck.
Yep.
And
so going by set times, it was about 4:55 when we got in line for water because it was before Trivium actually went on. It was like after Tech 9 and Trivium going on.
Because we went directly to the water line from there.
Yep.
So from the end of Fever 330, from the end of Fever 333 around 4 o'clock or 3:55, we went directly to the food line.
Yep.
So from 4 o'clock to whenever we get done with this, which
we'll tell you,
the very last song of Lamb of God. So 7:40.
Fucking 3 hours and 40 minutes at least we stood in line for food and water.
Nearly 4 hours.
Most of that was all water.
Yes, most of it.
3 hours of it was water.
Because we missed the Trivium set. We missed the Gojira set. We missed the Lamb of God set.
Yeah.
Until like the last song of Lamb of God.
But even that, it was like walking away and not. So I don't know.
So
I'm like getting like anxious even thinking about what we went through.
So I do remember the first time we recorded this. It was like a 4-hour episode.
Yeah, and there's lots of like, fuck that. Like,
I was extremely pissed off. And that was a year or so after going there. I was still fucking livid when I think about this. And I am now. I'm a little less.
Yeah.
But I'm still fucking pissed at this. And we'll keep talking about it here.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got in line for water and we missed Trivium, Gojira, Lamb of God. Like we talked about, like we missed that 3 fucking hours in line for water.
And I just have to say those are maybe the 3 best bands that we missed.
Outside of Slipknot?
Not the best bands, but like we should have we did buy one water earlier in the day when we got in there during right after Gate Creeper, but I mean, I don't know. I'm just like, we missed all that music.
Right.
I mean, you could hear it, but you can't.
It's not the same thing.
It's not the same. And there was like this little hill. So there was a point during Gojira, I think, that we got to the bottom of the hill, and then you couldn't even see the stage.
It was either that or I don't think it was quite that far. I think it was right when Lamb of God started.
Okay. That you couldn't see the stage anymore?
You couldn't see the stage. I don't think you could even see the
screens?
The screens, yeah.
I just remember there was one point where it was like, okay, well, now we're just like standing in line with all these people.
Yeah. I remember standing in line and Trivium going out and doing their get on your knees thing that they do every now and then. And it's like it's an homage to Slipknot, right? Because it spit it out. It does the same thing. And I was like, fuck, that would have been so cool to be there. And like the crowd, you could hear them. You could see them move. You could hear the band, like their respect for the crowd. Even Matt from Trivium, like right afterwards, posted on his Twitter account, Knotfest, Iowa, the greatest U.S. show of our entire career. Hell, Knotfest. Like, holy shit. Like, to them, this was the best show in the U.S. they've ever played. I don't know if it still is. I assume it still is.
Probably. I mean, I think it was a great show. I mean, we didn't even see their performance, but I think the whole like weekend would have been fucking amazing.
Yeah, I mean, even looking at the photos they posted where they took a photo of the crowd, like it's just a sea of fucking people. We were on the Lamb of God boat last year, and Randy had, I think the title of the photo, it wasn't his photo, somebody else took it.
Yeah.
It was Sunset with the Masses or something along those lines, and it's him jumping up with his dreads flowing behind his head mid-song, and it's Knotfest, Iowa, and you see the sea of people. And I remember looking at that on the boat, and I'm like, we were right there, because here's the water tent, and we would have been right about there. So one of these little pixelated dots is maybe us or maybe not us, because that's to the point where you see the hill, and that's just the end of the people that you see before the hill drops down.
Yeah.
I mean, just to hear Matt say, like, this was the best show of our life, of our career in the U.S., holy shit. We talk about wanting to go to Europe and experience a Europe festival.
Oh, yeah.
And seeing the crowds there and how amazing they look.
It just looks, we've seen it on YouTube and just knowing, or like seeing articles and stuff, it just, those festivals just seem so amazing.
And this was the closest thing that I can think of. Maybe an Ozfest at some point.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Like an early 20,000.
But we never had
20,000. 2,000 Ozfest would have probably been almost close to it.
Yeah, but like we never got to experience that. So right now, this was probably the closest thing we could have done to experience something like that here in the States. And I'm just so fucking pissed we missed that. And then to follow Trivium, you get Gojira that comes on. And wouldn't you know it, there's a surprise guest for Gojira. And Randy fucking comes out and sings along with them. And like they're going between the two stages. Like, they're fucking playing this crowd up. They're fucking giving it their all. Like, an amazing fucking show. And we're in line to buy fucking water.
Yeah.
Water. Like, you brought it up. Like, the heat wasn't an issue. It was a nice, cool fall day. Could have been extremely hot.
Yeah.
If it was, motherfuckers would have been dropping like flies. Because they were going hard as shit in that pit.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, even when people were coming out of the pit, you could tell that they needed liquid really, really bad. But it was definitely, very, very good that the temperature was not that hot.
And like everybody in line was getting pissed. And you would see motherfuckers, I don't blame them, but at the same time it sucks that they would walk out. It was with only liquid death. And they'd walk out with like 2 cases of liquid death.
Yeah.
And then people would just be running up to them. Here's $20 for a can of water.
Yeah.
Here you go.
I mean, once we got up there, it was like either Aquafina or Hy-Vee water. So
was that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure what happened is they ran out of water.
See, it was either that, it may have been a combination of things. It was that, I always thought it was an issue, even looking back on it, that it was an issue with the POS system.
Oh, the
because,
credit card thing?
Yeah, you're out here in the middle of nowhere and you're using this wireless transaction for credit cards.
Yeah. And I think it was announced not to bring cash.
I think so too, yeah.
I mean, we brought cash.
I can't honestly remember that aspect, so I don't know.
I think we did have cash. No, I don't. I can't remember. I can't remember if we took cash or not. We might have taken some, but I think it was announced like cashless or something.
I don't think we had cash because when we were walking out, somebody ran up to us and was like, because I think we got 4 because we wanted to drink one each now
Yeah.
and then save one for the rest of the night
Yeah.
each. And somebody ran up to him and was like, here's $20. Give me a water, please. And this fucking dude came out of the pit,
Yeah.
shirtless, drenched in sweat, and it's like,
Yeah.
here you go, have it. And just like,
I should have just given it to him
we should
instead of
have,
selling
yeah.
it. But I was like, sure, I'll take $20.
But at that point, we were just so pissed in general. I don't think we were thinking at all.
No.
Because
No.
I don't know. There was a point in the line where I was like, fuck this. I don't give a shit about the rest of this fucking pathetic fucking show. I just want to fucking go home. This is fucking so goddamn stupid. Fuck this. I am leaving. I thought that multiple times in line. And then I was like, no, hold out. Slipknot's going to make it worth it. It's going to be fine. It's going to be a great show. You're going to be fine. You're going to get through this. Not much longer. Another hour goes by. I'm leaving. I don't give a shit. I'm fucking gone. Or we had friends who lived in Indianola.
They do, yeah.
Call them. Maybe they'll drive down here and give us water through the gate. We just tell the security people to fuck the fuck off.
Yeah, like I almost wanted to do that. Like, can you just buy a case of water and bring it and like
just throw it over the fence.
Yeah, we'll just like start.
There's a wall of porta potties. Just start throwing water over, and we'll catch it and start handing it out.
Yeah,
like that's what we should have honestly done.
And I had water in the car, and that's what pissed me off because it's like no reentry, and you can't bring water in.
See, yeah. We call this Linefest for several reasons. There's one more line after the water line, but the water line, the food line,
the line to get in,
and the line to get in.
Oh, because I didn't even say that when we walked over to get food. So that would have been about 4:00. The fucking line to get in the gate was still out by the other road.
You still saw the line down
at the end of the gravel road that the festival's on. There's like another gravel road that like tees it, and it was still out by that T. And I was just like, that is fucking ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. It's really cool to see so many people showing up. It's really shitty to see that it took so long to get them in, even this late in the night. Maybe it was just a steady stream of people all day long. I don't know. But yeah, that line through the rest of the fucking day. I even want to say at the point when we got done with our water, you could still see the line coming in. I can't remember, but I do remember seeing what you were saying of like this line getting in is still this fucking long. Holy shit.
Yeah. Oh, it does say doors open at 11 on this thing. So
yeah.
Anyways, I knew it was an hour before the bands were supposed to go on.
Well, it's also because we went to a show, I think Upheaval we went to, and the doors were the same time as the first band. And that was our first experience. And we're like, this is fucking stupid. We did that with Knotfest, but not by design.
Yeah.
By shitty planning and organization. That's why we did it.
Yeah.
I hate when festivals do that. First band, doors at the same time. That's so fucking stupid. This hour before, perfect. You can get everybody through, or you can get 10 people through. I don't know.
Anyways, so at the end of Lamb of God, so it's 7:40. We got water.
So real quick, Lamb of God. We didn't talk about their set, so we didn't really see their set, but they had just come out with their new song Memento Mori, and I was so fucking excited because I was like, this song is a perfect opener. We hadn't seen them before. We've seen them before, but not live since that song.
Yeah.
And I was like, this song is a brilliant fucking opening track. It hits on the lyrics. It hits on the sound, the energy it generates. Like there's so many levels. Yeah,
because there's like the build up and then the drop.
The drop and then like the meaning of like wake the fuck up. Like it's time to wake up. We're about to kick each other in the fucking face in a good way here. Like this is gonna be fun.
I like how you say that. You're always like, we're gonna kick each other in the face in a good way.
Well, yeah, it's like I want my teeth to be kicked down my throat, and it's like, but that means I want the crowd and the energy. Like, yeah, I want that. I don't literally want somebody to walk up and kick me in my teeth. Like, please don't ever do that. But yeah, it's the energy, right?
Yeah.
And that's how they opened, and I was like, holy fuck, yes, this is awesome.
I know when Lamb of God.
I'm in a goddamn line. I can't go.
I think when Lamb of God came on, I was like, you can go watch it if you want. You were like, no, I'm staying here.
But that's not fair to you. So I was like, I'm not doing that. Like,
I feel like now in our concert going relationship, you would be like, fuck you, I'm going to see this.
And this is what really, really, really fucking pisses me off so much about this is this pain point that we have. Again, I saw the line for the beer was extremely long. And I told, you know what? I told myself, I'm not going to buy any more beers. I don't want to stand that line. I'm fine with that. You as an organizer, that's a miss on you. Like, that's your fault for not having enough staff or whatnot to support this line and this crowd. So
or just design it differently where all liquids are sold at everywhere.
Or
Like,
that too, right?
Why I don't understand why you need to have 2 beer tents and 2 water tents no liquids at the food stands.
The only thing I could possibly think of is different contracts against different distributors. Like you had an alcohol vendor and you had a concession vendor.
And then the other thing I thought was like, oh, that way the water stand doesn't have to check IDs and blah, 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 like all that bullshit.
That too, right.
But I'm like, it's just so stupid. I've never seen that before where it's, maybe it happens all the time where it's separate, but.
I mean, to some extent, there are times where you can't buy beer at normal concession stands sometimes, but you can get water and soda.
Yeah, but that's more like a sporting game or something like that, like not necessarily like a concert.
Sometimes at concerts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not often anymore, but sometimes.
I was gonna say I can't think of one in the last 100 concerts that we went to.
Really? You can't think of a single one?
Linefest.
Which one? Judas Priest. Each stand while having alcohol, but they had different types of alcohol.
Yeah.
So if you didn't want a tequila.
Oh, well, that's different though. Like the different alcohol, you might have to go to a different stand.
Okay, but then if you wanted food,
you could buy water at every single one. Every single stand had water.
You could, yes. That's different. If every single stand at least had water.
Yeah.
That would be different.
That's what I'm trying to say. Is
I thought you said like beer also.
I just meant like in my mind all liquids like water, beer. Those are the 2 liquids.
The beer stand should have water, but not necessarily the water stands having beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that way you can stand in line for a beer and get a water instead of having to go to 2 separate ones. Yeah.
Especially if you want people to take their health into consideration. To do 1 and 1.
Yes. But like all of this main frustration around water could have easily been avoided by simply allowing and providing free refillable water stations.
Yeah.
Like I said, we were at Riot Fest a week before. Saw Slipknot, one of the greatest festivals we've ever been to, maybe one of the close to the top of the list for us. And they have so much free refillable water all over the place. Not only that, their crowd size was like 3 times the size of this. I can't remember. I looked it up the first time we did this. I want to say it was 100,000.
I think it is 100,000 that go to Riot Fest.
I don't know if that's over all 3 days or each individual day or what.
Probably each individual. There's a fuck ton of people there.
There are 5 different stages, I think it is.
Yeah.
Going on at the same time.
At least.
So, I mean, and they provide free refillable water. So, like, it feels very greedy from an organization standpoint to be like, you can't bring water in because we were going to charge you for your water that you're getting. That irked me and pissed me off so fucking much when we're standing there in line for this. It's like, I could have been done with this. Even if I wait an hour for water, I'm fine with that. Waiting 3 fucking hours for water is just fucking insanely ridiculous.
Yeah. I remember reading Facebook comments after this was all done, and people are like, "Oh, you're so stupid. There was a spigot like behind the food stands."
I don't think people were saying that. I think Mammoth, the production.
And I'm wondering if it was Mammoth saying that, or if people did find a spigot for like. I would think that would be for the food vendors because you have to go behind the food vendors. But if they found that and they're like, "Oh, I'm just gonna fill up a bottle right here."
At one point, I do remember seeing a post or something like that, either from Mammoth or from somebody. And they showed the spigot, but you're right, it was behind those food trucks. And it's like,
that was from it was from Mammoth, I think.
I can't remember, but I thought it was. I've lived the last 3 years with the thought of this being from Mammoth.
Yeah.
But I do remember seeing that post, and it was behind the food trucks based on the image I saw and where I could kind of place it. But again, that's behind those food trucks, and it's sort of set up in a way where it's like, that's not for people to go, because this is where the food trucks are throwing their empty boxes out and shit. So I think
who would know it was there? It wasn't on the map.
It wasn't on the map, and we'll throw that up several times. I swear to God, I have that downloaded somewhere. I just need to find it.
Yeah, I bet it's either on a drive or something. So.
Yeah, but yes, there it is. So here's the map. We finally found the map. Well, like I said, we'll throw this up as well. Where's the food at?
Food's over here.
Food right here. Yeah, even on this map, the food line is right here, and it shows like this little box that I assume means you're not supposed to go behind. Other than that, looking on the side, you have bar, food, medical, merchandise, restrooms, ADA, guest services, where the fuck is the water, assholes?
They don't even have the water tent on here, but it was by the merch stand and then down here by the other food or beer tent.
Yeah, it's this one by this merch tent here.
It was like it right in here, but then there was another one.
Yeah, I think
right
this
here.
big bar one is the one we're thinking of. Is like that was the huge one.
The one we stood in line for was over here.
Yeah, but this is that big one you're talking about by the food stand, and then this is there used to be one down here by this bottom.
Yeah, they don't have water on there though. They don't have water on the map.
No.
On where you can buy water.
And I think I saw like a post or I heard somebody say like, "Oh, we just walked to the medical tent and said I need water," and they just handed them free fucking water.
People said that in the comments too, that you could get water at the medical tent, but I'm like, that's not something I thought of because it wasn't a medical emergency.
Right, that's what I thought too. Like I didn't even think about doing that.
Yeah.
I was so fucking pissed at this point. Like we missed so many goddamn amazing bands and performances because you're trying to cheat me out of $4 fucking or whatever the fuck water cost. Give me free refillable water, shitheads. Like that's all you have to do.
They could have done it like back here or something, or like I don't know.
Take out half of the goddamn porta potties or a third of the porta potties because, as we said, you had 1,400 of them, and put a water station there. Like it is so fucking ridiculous that you didn't have free water. That pisses me off so much. And again, 90% of our frustrations could have been easily avoided. Getting in through security. I would have been upset. I'd still be upset about that, but I would have chalked it away. Like,
we would have forgot about it.
We've waited in line to get into shows before.
Yeah.
It's for security. You're trying to make sure that we are safe. I'm okay with that. Security theater is a thing. I know that. I would have been fine with that line, getting in. Waiting in line for food. Cool. It sucked. I would have been fine with that too. We've done that as well. Standing in lines forever for food. Again, Riot Fest, we've done that there. Those lines can get extremely long too. It takes time to make the food properly. You don't want to be serving people raw, frozen chicken.
We understand all that, yeah.
So we wouldn't have been pissed about that. So those two lines, completely fine with. This 3-hour water line is what, like, I'm like, fuck this. This is stupid. I was so pissed. So goddamn pissed. And we still have Suicide Boys, Megadeth, and Slipknot left to see.
I think when Suicide Boys went on, we just kind of sat down off to the side with our water and just drank our water and like kind of just sat there like, okay, we got Megadeth and Slipknot left. Because I'm not a fan of Suicide Boys.
So that's weird. I vividly remember you saying when we were sitting there, like, that wasn't bad. I enjoyed that.
From Suicide Boys?
Yeah. Which I'm like, for real? I enjoyed it. I didn't think you would. But I remember you being like, that wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I vividly remember you saying that.
Don't remember ever saying that.
But you're right. We moved. They were on the first stage. We moved over to the first stage and just sat there and waited. And then Megadeth took the stage on the second stage.
And we stood up in the crowd on the first stage to
watch
see
that, yeah.
Megadeth, yeah. Very underwhelming.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It was very disappointing because I think Dave had just got back from his throat surgery and his issues with his throat, that it was one of his first shows back, and he didn't sound quite well.
Yeah.
We've seen him since, and he sounds better, but that particular show was sort of like, oh, really? And I remember you being like, he's one of the big four? Like,
yeah.
How is that
impressive? It was just disappointing to see the performance, so...
Technically, the musicianship, the guitar, like all of that was on point. That was amazing. But yeah, those vocals were just sort of off. And I give him the benefit of the doubt because, again, I think that was one of his first shows back.
I think so, yeah. But also, to me, Megadeth shows are just underwhelming.
They are. I wish we would have seen them early on to see what it would have been like in their youth, to see what that would have been like.
Yeah, when they're not... How old are they? Like 60?
Somewhere in there, yeah. It is also very... guitar focused, and you're not the biggest fan of guitar solos in general, so
they're just long.
Boring. But yeah, that was a little underwhelming. And then Slipknot took the stage, and it's at this point in time my anger went away.
Yeah,
and I had so much fucking
almost
fun.
Instantly. In my opinion, it was almost instantly.
Same.
Where I'm just like, holy fuck, this is the reason why we came here. This is why we are in Iowa right now doing this.
We were nowhere near the stage. We were behind the fucking sound stage.
Yeah.
Like, there were so many people in there. And even where we were at, it was dense. You could barely fucking move.
Yeah.
And then when Corey would sing, the crowd was singing louder, and you could tell as he was singing, and like you could just hear in his voice, like, "Holy fuck, this is amazing! You people are beautiful."
I think he said that after. I don't remember what song they started with. What's that song called? Yeah, even after Unsainted, I think he said like, or maybe it was after Disaster Piece. We pulled up the set list now so that we can remember what the order was, but. I think he even said, like, holy shit, like, that sounded amazing. Like, he was very surprised at the sound of the crowd.
And it was throughout the night, too. It didn't stop. Like, the crowd was singing, like, before I forget, I remember the crowd sung louder than him. And you could just see, like, on the big screen, like, his head, like, holy shit, like, shaking. And,
could
like,
you
could see this massive smile as well.
Like, I don't know. I couldn't imagine being back, I'm going to say home, even though it was Indianola, not Des Moines or Waterloo where he'd grown up.
Yeah.
But it's like you're back home and you see this crowd that came out and you're just performing in front of them, and it's like your life is just looking back at you.
And it's not just people from Iowa. People fucking travel all over the place for this. And thinking of the new show the next one in Iowa, they've got a whole tour around this now to support this. This is the last leg of the tour, the last song on the last stop on the tour, I think, but a bigger, like, it's going to be a proper Knotfest. And it's like, fuck, this is like, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, where you're going.
This has a lot more stops on the tour, where this one was just a single one-off, with the exception of the Riot Fest that they did before. I still expect a lot of people are going to be traveling for this to be in Iowa for this show.
I think it's a huge thing to be in somebody's home state when they're playing.
Yeah. So I don't know. The set was fucking amazing. I vaguely remember leaving early, but I don't think we did.
No, we didn't. Nope, we stayed till the very end.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
Because at the very end, they brought up a tribute to Joey and Paul with their numbers and their dates of birth and death. And it was fucking awesome to see. And then there were some fireworks, I think, afterwards. Yep. But that performance was just so fucking good. Like,
it did make the night. And I mean, obviously, we didn't forget about what happened during the day, but it was, even for $80, like, that performance was well worth it.
That, without question, is one of my favorite performances of all time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And thinking about the day overall, if there was free fucking water, and we could just walk down to get the water, even with the long lines that we already talked about, we had to deal with those. We had just seen about a year or so before this, a couple years before this, S&M 2, which is now my favorite show of all time, and it was back then. This concert, this festival, probably would have outbeat S&M 2 for me personally as my best show of all time.
If it wasn't shitty.
If I didn't have to wait 3 fucking hours for water. Yeah. Exactly. So that, I'm just like, fucking hell.
And I mean, during this whole thing, we haven't said this yet, but we do not blame the bands or Slipknot or Knotfest as an organization for any of this.
You don't. I want to talk about that here in a little bit, because we have one more line to get through, which was the line to get out of the venue once we got in our car. Yeah. Which I feel like we sat in our car for...
Well, this got done at 11:45, I think. Which one?
Oh, this tab here.
Okay. It got done at 11:45. So Slipknot played for an hour and 45 minutes.
Going out to your car, 15 minutes. Say we get to our car midnight. I don't think we even moved our car until 1:30, 1:45.
Possibly.
And then
it was 3 o'clock when we got back to the hotel, and it's only a 20-minute drive.
And even then, there were so many people leaving and trying to get out. And that's the thing. There was no
direction.
There was nobody organizing anything. It was just sort of, if you can get out, you can get out type thing.
Like, so the one venue here in Chicago that I hate driving to, but we go for some shows like a couple times a year or once a year probably, but it's Tinley Park. Mm-hmm. And when you are getting ready to leave and even getting out onto the highway, like, there's police directing traffic. So, I mean,
these 5 cars are going to turn left, then you get your turn. Then
and you can only turn like one way, which GPS fucking hates that. But, like, you know, like they have it done really well where, like, they get the traffic out very well. And this was just kind of a free-for-all, like, does your car fit? Okay, get in line sort of thing. And I don't know, we were driving over, I don't know, just in that area, like there was some big trucks that were able to drive over the grounds a little bit better.
Yeah.
We have a small Kia, so it doesn't really work that way.
Do we have a car? We didn't even have a
No,
car.
we had our Kia.
Did we?
Yep. Because we bought it in July of 2021.
Okay, I don't remember that, but yeah, all right, fine.
So we were because we drove out there and drove our car back.
I thought we rented, but okay,
no,
cool.
it was our car, but it doesn't go over the valleys as well as some of those big trucks, so it took us forever to get moving.
But we did get home, and then the anger continued to boil up in me.
Yeah. Well, before we even got home, we went to your grandmother's the next day, and she was like, "Oh, I saw on the news that there was some issues at a concert. Were you guys there?"
My dad asked too, and he's like, "How was it?" I said, "The worst fucking concert of my life, hands down." But then, the next few weeks, it was definitely watching the news for apologies, looking for statements to try to figure out what the fuck happened. And that's what I want to talk a little bit of now before we close out. So the first statement I want to say is from Mammoth Productions. And this may have been the first time I learned that Mammoth was sort of the production company that sort of put this show on. I think they're really big in the Midwest, especially like the Kansas City, Iowa area.
Yeah, I think they're based out of Kansas City. So
I think so,
I don't think Iowa really has like a big...
something like this.
Yeah.
They're really big in the region. Even this next Knotfest that they're doing here is going to be put on by Mammoth as well. So the first statement that came out from them, do you want to read that?
Oh, sure. In preparation for this inaugural event and to ensure a positive experience at Knotfest, Iowa, Mammoth Productions engaged one of Iowa's largest concessionaires, Best Concessions and Catering, with over 30 years of experience and who manage many large events and concerts. We strive for excellence in all aspects of the events and acknowledge that this was lacking us in certain aspects at Knotfest, Iowa, and we are deeply disappointed by what happened. This is not the standard we hold ourselves to, and we will do everything to ensure that the situation like this will not happen again. The vending issue should not reflect negative... Sorry, I had to laugh. The vending issue should not reflect negatively on Knotfest, Slipknot, or their team.
Because that's essentially what you just said from your perspective of like, we don't blame Slipknot or their team or anybody.
I personally do not.
I'll give my opinion here in a second.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Slipknot and the Knotfest team did a phenomenal job bringing an exceptional entertainment experience, and we value our partnership. We are sincerely sorry for the logistical issues we experienced marred the exceptional performances of the artists as well as the experience of their fans. We were so pleased and honored to be able to bring such a popular event to Iowa as we continue to navigate through a worldwide pandemic. The event not only brought a great day of entertainment, but also employed thousands of locals in the process. Again, we apologize to the fans for our shortcomings and promise to do better in the future.
Okay, so this first statement again from Mammoth, the producers, calling out, so to speak, Best Concessions and Catering, who also had their own statement. Why don't you go ahead and read that one off to us as well?
Sure. First and foremost, Best Concessions and Catering would like to apologize to those who are affected by the event Saturday's Knotfest. As the concessionaires and head of food vendors for this year's Knotfest in Iowa and an experienced concert concessionaire, we went into the event with a staff as expected would be able to accommodate Knotfest. However, a few days before the festival, our staff dwindled. At that point, we regrouped and hired additional help, and unfortunately, on the day of the event, we saw a huge drop in staff. As many others in the hospitality industry have seen, staffing has been difficult with the ongoing pandemic. With more than 30 years of experience in hospitality, this was an unprecedented occurrence, and as a company, we will work hard to prevent situations like this from arising again. We are, again, very sorry for the experience some concert goers had and apologize to everyone who encountered long lines and were unable to access concessions.
All right, so a few things. Again, I don't care about long lines for beer or food. I'm fine with that. Long line to get water is bullshit. if this had been hotter, there were even times where I was in line. It's like, why don't we just storm this shit?
I know.
Like, what the fuck is everybody so patient about? Like, just fucking break this shit apart.
I was kind of thinking about that because metalheads generally get a bad connotation about how aggressive they are, or, you know, whatever the case is. And I'm like, that day was a prime example how metalheads are not that way because, like you said, everybody could have just stormed the tent and gotten free shit and taken care of it ourselves.
The people walking out with 2-3 cases of water, just fucking tackle that guy and take his water. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't attack him. I would attack the motherfucking booth. Not the people working the booth, but the situation was just bullshit enough. And I honestly think if it had been 90 plus degrees.
I would say like even just in the 80s, it would have been way worse.
Probably. Yeah. Sometimes. If it would have been warmer, which again, we talked about, can easily happen in the Midwest in September. I think you would have seen more shit like that going down. Yeah. Again, directed not towards fans or the people working, but towards the situation of, I need water. I was in a pit. I can't live now I'm going to faint or pass out or die without this shit. Why can't I get water? So again, we apologize for some fans having to wait in line.
Yeah, because some fans just chose not to drink water all day.
Yeah, what the
Because I saw that too. People posted in comments. They were like, "Oh, we saw how long the line was, and we just went right back to the pit," which, yes, is a personal choice, but is that healthy?
Yeah.
No. And it shouldn't be a choice that you have to make.
Agreed. And even I saw comments of like, "Oh, so this must have been your first festival. You've never been to a festival before." And it's like, no, I have. But those festivals don't try to fuck over the attendees. They give them access to free water.
Every festival we've been to has had access to free water, except for this one.
And that, to me, that is the crux of this fucking shit show, is no free water.
Yeah.
And you can throw out the, like, oh, there was a spigot. Like, go fuck yourself. There wasn't. It's not even on the fucking map.
Yeah. And no water is on the fucking map.
Oh, fuck those pieces of shit. Yeah, see, I'm getting heated again and pissed off again.
So calm down.
It's just a fucking blame game.
It is, yeah.
We at Mammoth are sorry you didn't have a good experience, but we worked with a caterer who's supposed to take care of that, not us. So you need to go talk to them. You go to them. It's like, yeah, we're sorry. We were supposed to have the staff, but everybody called in sick today. So yeah, sorry. Like it's just this blame game. They're not taking personal responsibility of like, you know what? Yeah, we fucked up. We didn't give free water. We should have allowed for free water. Like, they do say, like, this isn't the standard we expect. But that's not, like, fuck these assholes. Ever since then, I'm like, I'm never, ever going to another Mammoth Productions. And we'll see if we ever go to one again. It might happen. But right now, it's even thinking about this, I'm like, fuck these pieces. I don't want to give them a goddamn cent of my money. These fuckers can rot in hell. Motherfuckers, all of them. Like, free water. Problem solved. No issues whatsoever. Like, this would have been the greatest show of our lives, of my life personally, beating out S&M 2. Motherfucking Metallica in a one-off show, or two-off show.
Two-off show, yeah. One-off that we would be able to see in our lifetime.
So, like, this would have been the greatest show. If Zeppelin came back and did a one-off show and we happened to somehow get tickets for that, or even going to see Ozzy's farewell shows, like if we had the ability to go to those shows, this might beat those shows as well, right? Maybe not Ozzy, but Zeppelin possibly. Like, this show was just so fucking amazing from what we saw and what we missed, and hearing the other bands and their experiences and how great they thought the show was is very frustrating that we were unable to experience that because of these fucking goddamn shitty-ass lines. So those were the two statements, as we said, that came out. For several weeks after this, I was constantly searching, like every day, at least once or twice a day, like, are there any new news articles or any new statements that have been posted, hoping or expecting and then hoping to see one from Slipknot or somebody in Slipknot to be like, hey, yeah, you're our family. Like, this is shitty this happened to you. We're going to do our best to make sure this never happens again. Something simple like that. It could have been completely false and bullshitty, like no teeth to it, no sincerity whatsoever. But I would have wanted something.
Kind of like these.
Yeah, exactly. Something like this from Slipknot. And nothing came. And honestly, for several weeks, I was like, fuck Slipknot. I'm done with this. This is fucking bullshit that you allowed this to happen. And again, maybe it's not their fault. It probably isn't their fault. They don't design the festival. They just say, yeah, we'll come and play.
Yeah.
We'll slap our name on it. We'll go and play it. But say like, from now on, we're going to require free water at all of our shows or something along those lines. Like, I just wanted something from Slipknot and not a goddamn peep from them at all. And for several weeks, I was like, fuck this. I don't give a shit. This is fucking bullshit. I'm not a fan of you right now. And I stopped listening to all their music. And we went back to Iowa, I want to say a month or so later in October. Or maybe it was even November, but we went back to see a hockey game at the mall. Yeah. That got canceled because the team got COVID. But I also had a lottery ticket for a beer, Assassin, up at Toppling Goliath, I want to say it is.
Yeah, in Decor.
And so we drove all the way up there instead. And like that Friday or Thursday when we were there in Iowa, they released their new single, the Chapeltown Rag, I believe it was, the song. And I remember it came out and you listened to it and it's like, this is pretty decent. I like this. And I think I listened, not regretfully,
begrudgingly.
I begrudgingly listened to it, and I was like, whatever. I don't honestly give a shit. And it was several months, maybe even to the new year, where I was like, all right, I'll listen to Slipknot again. And I still love them. They're one of my favorite bands, and this has sort of, the pain has sort of eased away. I'm not as angry anymore, but I fucking still blame the organizer and the caterer for the shit show that it was. Again, I don't blame Slipknot, but at that time when it first got over, I was like, I just want something from you, like some sort of statement, please. That's all I need.
Yeah, people are saying that online too, like in the comments, like Slipknot will never say anything.
Yeah.
Like basically, like their lawyers are probably telling them, no, don't take any responsibility.
And that's probably what it is. It really is. But it's still, it hurt me so bad as a fan.
I get that.
Back then. And again, the pain and the anger has sort of subsided to some extent. When I think about it now, I still get pretty heated. Mm-hmm. But I don't think about it anymore. And when they announced the 25th anniversary show here, the Knotfest 2024, I remember you messaging me like, that'd be fun. And I was like, oh, fuck, that lineup seems amazing. And we didn't really talk about this year's lineup yet. Let's pull that up real quick. Sure. So, I mean, so far this year, it's Till Lindemann going to be there, Knocked Loose, Hatebreed, Poison the Well, Gwar, Vended, Dying Wish, Zulu, Twin Temple, Holy Wars. What is that one? Swollen Teeth, Spine, and Dose. The bottom of the bill, don't really know a whole lot of them, but Vended, Dying Wish, Hatebreed, Poison the Well, we've seen. We're going to see them again. That's going to be awesome. Knocked Loose, I've come around on them a little bit. You're still not a big fan.
Not a fan of them.
And motherfucking Till Lindemann. Fucking Rammstein. Like, it's not going to be Rammstein, it's Till Lindemann, but still, it's got, holy shit, this seems like a fucking awesome show. It is in Waterworks Park this time, which I think has more infrastructure for a show like this.
It's for festival. I mean, festivals happen, or shows happen all the time at Waterworks Park. So that is something to note, is everything for Knotfest Iowa 2021 at the Balloon Fields had to be brought in because there is no infrastructure out there.
Yeah, and that's a big difference, right? Like, they had to build this all up and truck all this in. So running out of water, as you said earlier, very possible.
But at Riot Fest, they have like house or like tanks that you just fill up your water bottle.
No, that's what I'm saying though. Like, our experience here, where you're like, you thought they ran out of water, and that's why we had the Evian or whatever it was.
It was Hy-Vee and Aquafina. Yeah, so that's what you mean. Like, so then they had to like go to Hy-Vee and buy water. Yeah.
No, if you brought free water, you bring in a goddamn trucker, like a track trailer, right?
Water tank?
Those words don't go together. You see them on the highway, like the tractor again.
What are you talking about?
Like the semi trucks carrying liquids and shit. You just bring one of those in, boom, you have plenty of water. If not, bring a second one in, then you probably have plenty of water. But yeah, it could have easily been trucked in. We've never actually seen a show at Waterworks.
No, we were supposed to see Disturbed there, and then it got canceled for rain. So.
And then moved to Val Air.
Oh, yeah, that was fucking... Oh, it was horrible.
It was hot and packed.
Yeah.
But a fun as shit
you
show.
You can't move a show from Waterworks Park to Val Air. I'm sorry. The logistics there does not work.
So again, this seemed like a fucking phenomenal show, but right down here in the corner, you have the little Mammoth logo again, and it's like, I don't think so. I think I'm gonna pass on this.
Well, we're not going anyways, but
we're not. No.
I'm interested when they announce the setup where the water is, because I bet you it's gonna be called out.
It better be. If they don't have fucking water on this next map, that's bullshit.
Yeah, it has to be
but
because
again,
of the experience in 2021.
No water at Waterworks Park. I mean, again,
that's an oxymoron there.
Yeah, they do have the infrastructure, so they could already have it pre-built in to like the restrooms have drinking fountains there. Yeah. So it could be in there for the infrastructure. But I'm interested to see that as well. A couple things I forgot to bring up, and I'm sorry we're going long. I'm running out and whatnot, but. I think I'll have to look up the email and see if we actually have it or if I still have it. But afterwards, we did get an apology email from, I believe, Mammoth Productions with like a $25 off coupon for your next Mammoth Productions show. I think
you're right.
So sorry you missed half the fucking concert. Here's $25. Sorry, our cat knocked over the light. We just got home and he's a little clingy. There he goes again. In the Mammoth statement, they did say for this inaugural event, as if it was going to happen every year. It hasn't happened since, so it's been 4 years. Now we have the 25th anniversary. Hopefully this one goes well.
This will be the third year. It's 2021, so this is 3 years later.
Oh, my bad. Math is not my strong suit right now. Hopefully this one goes good. Hopefully they come back. Maybe next year we can check it out.
Yeah, I want to do it again if they do it more, but this year we just can't. But I'm interested to see what the comments are this year afterwards on people that went 2021 and then this one.
I'm definitely going to be paying attention to this, and hopefully, again, like I really want this to be good. Like I said, that last one was so close to being the perfect show for me, the best show of my life, and as it stands now, it was easily, without question, the absolute worst show I have ever been to. And not because of the performances. The performances are some of the best performances I saw. The 2 or 3 I saw. But that's the thing.
I think that's where
2 or 3.
I think that's where I was going with the whole, we don't blame the bands for this. I understand your gripe on Slipknot. Not making an announcement or not making an apology, but I'm sure that was lawyers. But the bands were fucking amazing. Yeah. I just wish we would have been able to see more.
Experience more. I don't even fucking see the stage.
We saw three bands, or 4 bands, if I remember right. So we saw Gatecreeper, Fever 333, Slipknot, and Megadeth. Yeah, so I have it listed as the bands we missed, which were Widow 7, Vended, Gatecreeper, half of their set. Tech 9 we missed because we were standing in line. Gojira we missed. Trivium we missed. Lamb of God we missed, but the last 1 or 2 songs. Yeah. Oh, I guess we saw Suicide Boys too. So. Yeah. So I mean, as I said, I don't need to see the music. I just need to hear it. Which sure, that's what you were doing while you stood in line. But like, I need to be in the crowd and experience. I want to be in the crowd and experience. Like if I can't see the stage, that's fine. I'm in the crowd, experiencing the crowd and the energy from that. Standing in line, the only energy you got was a bunch of motherfuckers pissed off that they're in line missing this amazing, amazing show. Yeah. Anywho, that was our thought of a show we saw 3 years ago? 2.5 years ago now, yeah.
It sucks. I mean, it's live music. I don't know. Go check out live music. Live music is amazing. You're going to have good experience. You're going to have bad experiences, but in the end, live music is worth it. And just go check it out. It's awesome.
Bye.